In a quest for innovation, Musk pioneers humanity's future in space and electric vehicles.
Company that you established or helped to establish as one of the creators.
With a few others, yeah.
And now you've taken those two enormous successes and you've set your ambition on space. How did you go from online payment systems to building a spaceship, essentially?
Well, when I graduated from college, there were three areas that I thought would be most impactful to the future of humanity. The three were the internet, space exploration, and then changing the economy from a mine and burn hydrocarbon-based economy to one which is solar electric, which I think is going to be the primary but not exclusive means of energy and transportation.
Have we screwed it up so badly here on this planet that our only hope is to build a new civilization out there?
No, not at all. Actually, I'm quite optimistic about the future of humanity on Earth.
You are?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what is the benefit to humanity then to inhabit Mars, which is really what is an ambition of yours?
Well, I think if you consider two paths, one where we're forever confined to Earth and the other where we're a spacefaring civilization out exploring the stars, I think the latter is far more exciting and will result in a richer and more diverse human experience. And I think if you'd asked anyone at that point in time whether we would be unable to go to the moon and not have been to Mars, I think they would think you're crazy.
Do we need leadership in that realm? Do we need a John F. Kennedy who sets a goal for us when he said one day a man will walk on the moon? Do we need that kind of leadership for this technology to move forward in that big step?
I do think it's very important the president set the priority and determine the goal that we as a nation will aspire to. And George Bush has his pluses and minuses, but at least one plus is that he has helped to steer the space program in a direction that more or less makes sense. The only thing I would sort of argue with is that I don't think we should be going back to the moon. I think we should be focused on Mars. I think we saw the...
You think that's a mistake, focusing on the moon?
And Branson guy's kind of a hack then.
Well, what Branson is doing, by the way, I'm a great admirer of Branson, is really a much smaller technological challenge. So their craft would be suborbital. So it would go to about Mach 3. Our craft is orbital. It goes to Mach 25, so 25 times the speed of sound. But that doesn't describe the whole scale of difficulty because the energy required to get to those velocities scales as the square of the velocity. So to do what Branson is doing, you need, say, about 9 units of energy. To do what we're doing, you need 625 units of energy. The difference is monumental. And then when you re-enter, you have to burn off all that energy. So that doubles the problem, really. So, I mean, what Branson is doing from a technological standpoint is building something that can cross the English Channel. What we're building is something that can circumnavigate the globe. It's a very different scale of technological difficulty. I still think what he's doing is great. And by the way, I bought a ticket on his effort.
You did?
Yeah. So I still think it's great. But the interest in Tesla is not from the perspective of, the world needs another car company. It's more from the perspective of we have a very important environmental problem that needs to be addressed, which is driven by the burning of fossil fuels and the increasing CO2 concentration in the atmosphere and global climate change, which I think is going to be one of the most significant issues of the 21st century. And the only way to really get around that, in my view, is really with an electric vehicle.
Have you heard from Toyota? Have you heard from General Motors and Ford saying, is the company for sale?
Nobody's actually made a formal offer, but the interest, I think one of the biggest values that Tesla can provide is serving as an example to the rest of the auto industry, because right now the auto industry, the big car companies believe that a viable electric vehicle is not possible, and B, even if it was, people wouldn't buy it. So we need to show that neither of those are true, that the technology works, that people want to buy it, and that will be the most effective way of really driving change in the auto industry is by serving as an example in that manner. And if we were to sell the company to one of the big car companies, I think it would really slow things down.
You think so?
Absolutely.